Hey everyone, this is Dancing Rift Reaper here. I am bringing you another video as I said after the last one I was going to try and get into the end time prophecies um, and the video I'm going to do on the third temple will not be this video. It will be a later video, but we're going to get to that. So this one is part of Ezekiel's prophecy, and with that I'm going to get right into it. This video shouldn't be quite as long, um, but I just wanted to bring everybody uh, this one will be on part of Ezekiel's prophecy. Now, the prophet Ezekiel had lots of prophecies, as did the other prophets for the most part. Um, but this one is going to be on part of Ezekiel's prophecy. And the reason why I say part is because not all of it has been entirely fulfilled. Like all of his prophecies concerning the latter days, not all of those prophecies have been fulfilled yet. But this video is going to be on the one that has been fulfilled. And the one that has been fulfilled is in part because there is an additional part of this particular prophecy of Ezekiel's. So right now we're going to go over um, the part that has been fulfilled. So this video is on, as you remember, the last video was on the history of the second temple that was rebuilt when the king of Persia, Cyrus, allowed them to go and rebuild the second temple. And then that second temple was destroyed in 70 AD by the Romans. So that was where we left off in the last video. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into Ezekiel's prophecy part of it. So this is on desolation to restoration. And the first thing we're going to see here is what was in the last video. It says 70 AD. Roman forces under Titus besieged and destroyed Jerusalem, burning the second temple on or near Tisha B'Av. The city was largely razed with heavy casualties, hundreds of thousands estimated killed, enslaved, or displaced. Jerusalem became a Roman military camp, later rebuilt as the pagan colony Aelia Capitolina under Hadrian. Many Jews fled or were sold into slavery, but significant communities survived, especially in Galilee North and other rural areas. Rabbinic Judaism emerged at Yavnia, or Yavna, I'm not sure how to pronounce that word, and Jewish life continued under Roman rule. And then it says in the immediate aftermath of 70 AD, it was not fully desolate. Jewish population recovered somewhat, communities persisted, and cultural and religious life continued in Galilee. Jews remained a majority or significant presence in parts of the land into the 3rd and 4th centuries. Now it says 132 to 135 to 136 AD, the Bar Kokhba revolt says it was a major uprising led to temporary Jewish independence, but Roman suppression was devastating. Cassius Dio reports 580,000 killed in battles, plus massive deaths from famine and disease. 50 key outposts and 985 villages destroyed. Judea was heavily depopulated. The province was renamed Syria Palestina to erase Jewish ties, and Jews were barred from Jerusalem and sometimes broader areas for periods. This event caused far greater long-term demographic impact than 70 AD alone. And then post 135 AD and onward, it says Judea proper saw sharp decline in Jewish settlement. The center of Jewish life shifted north to Galilee and a broad diaspora. By Byzantine times, 4th through 7th centuries, Jews were a minority overall, with further reductions under later rules Byzantine, Muslim, Crusader, etc. However, a continuous Jewish remnant always remained, never zero population or total abandonment. Estimates suggest Jewish communities endured in places like Galilee with fluctuations due to taxes, persecutions, and migrations. So they had a really hard time. And this is telling us what happened after 70 AD when that second temple was destroyed. So there were still remnants of Jewish population there. But they have really been through a lot. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look next. Okay, so Jerusalem was basically made desolate for a long period of time. And it says, in summary, the desolation lasted in a political and demographic sense for centuries after 135 AD. It was severe in Judea, less so elsewhere. But the land was never uninhabited or devoid of Jews. Jewish presence persisted as a minority through Roman, Byzantine, Islamic, Crusader, Ottoman, and British periods. And then long term to the modern era, no Jewish sovereignty or majority control for 1,800 to 1,900 years. So it was a long time. Now we're going to see what the prophet Ezekiel talked about. Okay, his prophecy, part of it anyway. So Ezekiel lived roughly 575 to 595 years before Jesus. And this is Ezekiel 36:8, where the prophet Ezekiel said, "But you, mountains of Israel, will produce branches and fruit for my people Israel, for they will soon come home." And that is Ezekiel 36:8. Now we're going to jump from Ezekiel 36:8 to Ezekiel 36, 24 through 28. So Ezekiel 24, we're starting here. It says, "For I will take you out of the nations, I will gather you from all the countries, and bring you back into your own land. I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. I will cleanse you from all your impurities and from all your idols. So remember, idols was a big thing, you know, um, during the second temple. Um, we read about how Solomon and his wives, um, they went down the wrong path. And it says, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit in you and move you to follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. Then you will live in the land I gave your ancestors. You will be my people, and I will be your God. So, this is only part um, of one of Ezekiel's prophecies, and the reason why I say in part is because the other part of this prophecy has not happened yet. And that other part is concerning the um, once Jerusalem is full of Israelites again, once the Temple Mount has Israelites again all over it and able to uh, take part in their um, ceremonies in the temple, then comes the rest of that prophecy. But now we're going to take a deeper look at Ezekiel's prophecy that has been fulfilled. And we're going to look at that now. And this is Ezekiel 37, the Valley of Dry Bones. The hand of the Lord was on me. This is the prophet Ezekiel speaking. And he brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very dry. He asked me, Son of man, can these bones live? I said, Sovereign Lord, you alone know. Then he said to me, Prophesy to these bones and say to them, Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the Sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you, and make flesh come upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Now, hopefully everyone understands that this is not talking literally, okay? This is talking more about more than one thing, okay? Um, this is talking about, okay, so keep in mind that the Jewish people were scattered among the nations. All of the nations, they were scattered. They didn't have their homeland. They were all over in every country, basically a scattered people with no hope. Well, shouldn't say no hope. They had little hope. They they basically felt like they were not complete, that they um didn't really have a life because they couldn't even go back to their homeland, because there really wasn't a homeland yet. It was there, but it was desolate. Um, so this is what the prophet Ezekiel was talking about here. He's talking about bringing, the Lord bringing them, giving them hope again, giving them life again, filling them with His Spirit to keep His commandments and, um, turn away from idols and things like that. And so we're going to continue to read that and read what he says here. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together, bone to bone. I looked, and tendons and flesh appeared on them, and skin covered them, but there was no breath in them. So, right here, when it says no breath in them, it's talking about like they didn't have the Spirit in them yet. We all have a soul, but that's not what it's referring to. It's talking about that spirit of hope and life and happiness in their homeland and, um, you know, the drive from the Spirit of God. They didn't have that because they were all over. They were all over the world. They were scattered. And then he continues in it and he says, Then he said to me, Prophesy to the breath. Prophesy, Son of Man, and say to it, This is what the Sovereign Lord says. Come, breath, from the four winds, and breathe into these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied, and as he commanded me, and my breath entered them. They came to life, and stood up on their feet, a vast army. Then he said to me, Son of man, these bones are the people of Israel. Do you see that? That's what the Lord told to Ezekiel. These are the bones. These bones are the people of Israel. They say, Our bones are dried up and our hope is gone. We are cut off. So you see where that it says that there? That was just what I was talking about. They felt like because they were scattered, they didn't have any hope. Um, they were literally cut off from their heritage, their homeland, everything. So we're going to continue on, and it says in verse 12, Therefore prophesy and say to them, This is what the Sovereign Lord says. My people, I am going to open your graves and bring you up from them. I will bring you back to the land of Israel. Then you, my people, will know that I am the Lord. When I open your graves and bring you up from them, I will put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will settle you in your own land. Then you will know that I, the Lord, have spoken, and I have done it, declares the Lord. So that prophecy is the prophecy of the valley of dry bones. Now, this particular prophecy has been fulfilled and it is still currently being fulfilled. And we're going to look at that here next. Ezekiel lived over 1,500 years before May 1948. In May 14th, 1948, Israel became a nation again. Their people came back from all being scattered all over the world and brought back to their own land, just as the prophet Ezekiel prophesied. Excuse me. So that is the fulfillment of that specific prophecy of Ezekiel, the valley of dry bones. That happened. That was fulfilled May 14th, 1948. Israel became a nation again, the people started coming back from all of the countries where they had been scattered for um, years, years and years and years. So that prophecy has been fulfilled and it is still currently being fulfilled. I believe the last I knew, I thought they had brought back one of the lost tribes from, it may have been Ethiopia. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they brought back one of the lost tribes, and they have continued to have, um, the Jewish people have continued to come back to their own land, to their own country again. So, on May 14th, 1948, the prophet Ezekiel's prophecy from the Lord, the valley of dry bones, has been fulfilled and is currently continuing to be fulfilled. Um, there are other prophecies of the prophet Ezekiel concerning the latter days, the end times. Um, you know, some of those have not been fulfilled yet, and we will get into those later on. But I wanted to specifically point out this prophecy because it has been fulfilled. And now we're going to look at something pretty amazing here. On the very next day after Israel became a nation again, on May 15th, 1948, the day after Israel declared statehood, 5 Arab nations invaded: Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq. And then it says additional support came from Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and the Arab Liberation Army, Pan-Arab Volunteers. These armies entered from all directions, north, east, and south, intending to crush the new state. Now, I also wanted to point this out. In Israel, the War of Independence is what this was called. May 15th, 1948 was their War of Independence, basically. And they call it Milhamet Ha'atzma'at. And in the Arab world, it was called the catastrophe, the Nakba. And the reason why is because they considered it a catastrophe that Israel had become a nation. And of course, referring to the displacement of Palestinians. And then it says in general historical terms, this was known as the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. It lasted from May 1948 to early 1949. So stop and think about that for a moment, okay? May 14th, 1948, they had declared themselves an independent nation again, and the very next day they were invaded by 5 countries. And those 5 countries that invaded were driven out by Israel. And it's not because Israel had some, you know, fantastic military or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they had a lot of hard experience in combat, from from wherever they had gathered from all over the world. But this is really a miracle when you think about it, because they had just declared themselves a nation, and the very next day 5 countries invaded them. And they were able to drive all of those invading nations out and come to a peace, to come to peace terms. So that in itself, I think, it's not necessarily military. I don't think it's a military thing, it's a God thing. Um, God made that a promise to Abraham, and he made a promise to Abraham's descendants, and he prophesied, he told Ezekiel to prophesy that he would return them to their own land. And that is exactly what he did May 14th, 1948. And there was no way he was about to let them get crushed the day after they came back and declared themselves a nation again. So God's hand was in it. That is the reason why those 5 invading armies could not crush the newly formed, reformed, I should say, nation of Israel. So now my next video is going to go more into Jerusalem. So I will also be bringing in some more um, prophecies from the prophets concerning Israel, and that will be in my next video as I have the time and ability to do that, because my schedule has become a lot busier, so I'm trying to get these in when I get the opportunity um, to bring them to you. But I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I told you it would be a short one this time. Uh, so keep watching, and thank you for stopping by and watching the videos so far. I noticed I had a lot of views on my last video. Thank you to all the people that came by and watched those videos. I hope you enjoyed the videos. I hope you learned something. I hope it helps you in your walk with God. And continue to pray, everyone, and, keep your faith. Keep your faith in God no matter what happens, no matter what's going on around you, no matter what the news says. Keep your faith in the Almighty. He is he never slumbers nor sleeps. The one who keeps Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, and he always has his eye on Israel and the holy city, Jerusalem. So, thank you for coming by to watch the video. The next video will be more on prophecy. It could be longer, it could be just as short, I don't know. But I hope everyone liked the video, you learned something, and hopefully I will see everyone in the next video. And all the people that were interested in the last few videos, I hope that this keeps your interest and you enjoy it. But until then, stay in prayer, keep your faith, pray for the peace around the world, but pray for Israel and Jerusalem, their peace. Pray for the the persecuted Christians, because I have heard in the news that some Christians have been attacked in Israel, and I think that is a very sad thing because, I mean, for multiple reasons, we shouldn't attack anybody. Nobody should attack anybody for any reason other than self-defense. That's it. Um, or protect your family, something along those lines. No one should be attacking anyone else. We should we should not do that. There's no reason to do that. We all have, the whole world, everybody has differences about one thing or another, but that is not an excuse to attack someone. And I think it's very sad that it's coming from Jewish people on Christians, because the Jewish people have had a history of being persecuted and attacked. They know what that history feels like, and they should not be doing it to anyone else. So I think it's very sad. I think whoever, um, attacked these Christians, I think that we need to pray for them. Um, that they obviously have some hatred in their heart, or they wouldn't have done that. So we should pray for them, pray for the people that have been attacked, and pray that, the persecution of the Jewish people and the persecution against Christians, it's absolutely awful and should not happen. But attacks on any people for any reason should not happen. It doesn't matter if you agree with them or not. You should not attack anyone. And, as I said in some of my videos before, when you do these kinds of things, you are being an instrument of Hasatan, of Satan. You're being an instrument of his. Do not help Satan destroy you. And you are helping him destroy you when you do things like that. So pray for our leaders, all of our leaders, every country. Doesn't matter if you like that country or not, pray for their leaders. But in the future videos, we're going to be getting into Zechariah. We're going to discuss Jerusalem, the holy city. We're going to discuss the Temple Mount. We are going to be discussing a lot of prophecies that have been fulfilled in recent times. So this is one, and I wanted to start here because we're going to be getting deeper into it from here on out. But this is the one I wanted to start with, was the restoration of Israel in May 14th, 1948, and Ezekiel's prophecy about that restoration. So we will be getting into more of that stuff, more prophecies as we go. We'll be getting into Jerusalem. We'll be discussing Iran, and a lot of the other countries mentioned by the prophets. So I hope everyone was blessed with the video. Please keep praying. Pray for the leaders of the countries. Pray for those that hate you and persecute you. Pray for the ones who are being persecuted. Pray for the ones who are doing the persecuting. Pray that we have peace in the world. Pray for Israel's peace, the peace of Jerusalem, the peace of Iran. There's a lot of innocent people that have been suffering in Iran. There's a lot of people that have suffered as a result of the Russian-Ukraine war. Pray for their peace. Pray for all the victims of war. And that's who suffers most in all wars, are the people. The innocent people, the civilians that just want to live their lives. They're the ones who always suffer the most. So, pray for the people in Iran and the people in Ukraine and Russia, the innocent people. Pray for their leaders that they will do the right things, not the wrong ones. You know, so do not be an instrument of the enemy of God. Do not be an instrument for him. Do not help him destroy your life. Stay in prayer. Stay in the Word. Pray for your family. And really, you have to pray all the time, and that's what the Word says. Pray without ceasing. So, and we really need to do that. We need to pray for revival. Revival in our hearts. Revival in our homes. In our cities. Our schools. Our nations. And the world. Time is short. Time is very short, and if you want to know what time it is, you keep your eyes on Israel, because Israel is literally like a timepiece that we can see where we are in Bible prophecy by watching Israel and Jerusalem. So, with that, I will see you all in the next video. God bless. Keep staying in prayer. Stay in the Word. Keep your faith no matter what. God bless you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.